Hello everyone, I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. It's been a while since my last update, and I'll delve into the reasons for that later on. Please watch till the end as there is an important update regarding this channel's future. Timestamps are in the description if you want to skip straight there. This update is a series of micro improvements, as well as having a more fleshed out direction that I want to take the various mechanics. First up, I tackled that pesky grid bug from the last video. Due to the way I separated the abilities from the grid, this was more tricky than I anticipated, leading me to overhaul the ability validation logic. This revamp simplified setting targeting rules for abilities and incorporates a lighter version of the A-star algorithm for checking every single tile in range. I was concerned about potential lag, but so far it hasn't caused any issues. This is most likely due to the smaller movement ranges and the fact that only a single unit can move at a time. I'll keep an eye on this as development progresses. On the development front, I've implemented some quality of life enhancements to speed up development. More on this later in the video, but it's worth mentioning that I'm reaching a point where we need to shift focus from mechanics to content. To start, I switched over to using Odin Inspector, instead of using custom editor scripts. I've used Odin in the past, and though I love it very much, it seemed like overkill at the time. For those of you who don't know what Odin is, it's a Unity plugin that allows very easy creation of custom inspectors and editor windows. It can also be used for validation and many other advanced things that I haven't even scratched the surface of. I'm not sponsored or anything, but let me just show you a fraction of its power. Originally, if I needed a new element in the custom ability definition editor, I would need to copy and paste 3 lines of code every single time. Compare that to Odin. All I have to do is add various predefined tags to the elements to style them in a way that looks better out of the box than anything I could make manually. I also applied this to every node in the ability graph, improving the readability of how each ability flows. You can also make custom windows. I created one to manage the content of the game, which allows me to manage all scriptable objects from a single convenient location, rather than having to worry about searching all the folders of the project. Managing your organization as your project gets bigger is a key factor in avoiding spaghetti code and potential bugs that can kill motivation in the project. Did I mention you can serialize dictionaries as well? 'Cause you can. Enough on Odin. I also hired an artist on Fiverr to make some custom assets for me, specifically a cooler fractured soul animation. Now we have this blue flame that seems to have cracked the glass of the enemy's health bar. There is also now a strategy view by zooming out all the way. This view shows the unit's types as well as the fragments that are on the ground. Ah yes, I changed the soul summoning mechanic once again. Are you surprised? I'm not. One lesson I want to get across with this devlog is the importance of planning. Rigging it works for a while, but eventually you spend so much time reworking stuff that you lose track of what you envisioned the game was to begin with. Plus, if you never flesh out any idea, how would you know if it was fun or not? I know I probably sound like a broken record when it comes to this. However, now, when a fractured unit dies, it leaves behind a soul fragment on the battlefield. The Necromancer can add fragments to it directly, or consume it to gain all the fragments currently on it. Think of this as an in-world placeholder or container for fragments. And once all 3 have been added, it will spawn a new unit of the corresponding type. This allows for a cool idea I had, where souls can have different area effect abilities depending on what fragments are on it. For example, it could deal damage each turn to nearby units with red fragments, or maybe give stat buffs to units who share similar fragments that are on it. The original soul crafting screen won't be going away, it will just be solely dedicated to upgrading souls. Some comments in my previous videos mentioned a layout system, where you can drag and drop the units into a layout that they spawn in at the start of each room. I actually love this idea, and this will fill in the gap in gameplay that arose from removing the soul inventory I had many videos ago. Lastly, I messed around with other environments from the same asset developer as the one I've been using. There is still a lot of work needed to get everything to seamlessly work together. For example, the green acceptable tiles for ability casting kinda clashes with the green in the grass on this forest environment. As for which sin gets which environment, that's neither here nor there. But I'm pretty settled on the snowy environment being tied to Wrath. Normally I would picture Wrath as an entity of fire and destruction. However, I kinda like the icy Wrath theme instead. Some mechanic ideas could be ice statues that you need to destroy to kill the boss, and the way you do it is by angering the boss to the point of mindless destruction where it breaks them for you. Another cool idea I have is for Pride. Pride will be the final boss. However, it won't be a boss. Instead, it will be an exact copy of your team. In order to defeat Pride, you must defeat that which you are proud of, the army you have built throughout the game. I really like this angle, and although it loses its twist once you've played the game through for the first time, I still think it can allow for replayability. That's all I had for gameplay updates, and now it's for a personal one. This will be my last devlog for the foreseeable future. I'll continue working on the game, but I've realized that video editing isn't a passion, and it's been draining my motivation. I've considered shifting to dev blogs on itch.io, and will keep you updated through our Discord channel if that ever gets created. I will say I have a deep respect for anyone who does YouTube full time. It's not as easy as it may look from the outside. Other genres like vlogging and gaming are a little simpler because you can send a lot of the raw footage to an editor. However, for technical stuff, it becomes more difficult to outsource the work. This brings me to another major issue. As mentioned earlier, I'm getting to the point where content is needed. And by content, I mean custom assets. Things like bosses, armor, weapons, enemies, things that will fit with the environment, UI, and player units. This is not possible through assets alone, especially if I want everything to be seamless. And unfortunately, I do not have the finances to hire the amount of work that would be required to finish this game in a way that does the idea justice. This led me to an idea. When I first started this YouTube channel, I did want to eventually transition to tutorial content. I've started working on a Udemy course for a tower defense game. It's very small, it might not even be good enough, so I might not even finish it. However, this can give me some secondary income that I can funnel back into this project, as well as helping newcomers that are getting into game development. I don't want money to be the focus of my game dev journey. However, it would be irresponsible to ignore its importance, especially if you lack the skill to do it yourself, like me. I also considered partnering, however, due to my very fickle schedule, I don't see that as a long-term solution. So keep a lookout for that. It may never come, it might be out in a month, who knows. I was thinking of giving it away for free to my subscribers, as a thanks for sticking with me through this journey so far. I've never thought I'd even have 100 subscribers, let alone almost 1,000. It means the world to me that there are people interested in my ideas, and I hope to keep working on the game long after my channel has gone quiet. Thank you again for all your support, and have a fantastic day. Bye.